The rain hadn't stopped for 3 days, but that wasn't what made him hesitate at her door. It was the silence. Arman stood there, drenched, heart pounding harder with every passing second. His hand hovered inches from the doorbell, trembling, not from the cold, but from the weight of everything that had led him here. 3 years. 3 years since he had last seen her. 3 years since she had walked out of his life without looking back. And yet, here he was. Before he could change his mind, the door opened. Zoya stood there. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The world seemed to narrow down to just the two of them, the sound of rain fading, the passing cars dissolving into nothing. Her hair was longer now, her face slightly thinner, but her eyes were exactly the same. Deep, expressive, and painfully honest. "You shouldn't be here," she said. Her voice was steady. Controlled. But her eyes flickered. Arman swallowed hard. "I had to see you." A pause. Then she stepped aside. "Come in." The house smelled the same. Warm. Familiar. Like memories he had tried and failed to forget. Arman stepped inside slowly, as if afraid that moving too quickly might shatter the fragile moment. Zoya closed the door behind him. "You didn't call." "I thought, if I called, you wouldn't pick up." "I wouldn't have." That stung. But he nodded anyway. They stood awkwardly in the living room, a place that had once echoed with laughter, late-night conversations, and dreams of a future they had believed was certain. Now, it felt like a museum of what used to be. "Why are you here, Arman?" she asked, crossing her arms. He looked at her, really looked at her. Not the guarded version she was showing him, but the subtle tension in her shoulders, the way her fingers pressed into her arms, the way her eyes kept betraying her calm words. "You told me to leave," he said quietly. 3 years ago. You said you didn't love me anymore." "I meant it." "No, you didn't." Her jaw tightened. "Don't do this." "I saw your eyes then," he continued, his voice cracking slightly. "And I see them now. You can say whatever you want, Zoya, but your eyes, they've never lied to me." She looked away. And that was all the confirmation he needed. 3 years earlier. It had been a simple life. Not perfect, but theirs. Arman had been struggling to build his small business, working late nights, taking risks that didn't always pay off. Zoya had been his anchor, steady, supportive, patient. She believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself. Until the day everything started to fall apart. The business failed. Debts piled up. Calls from creditors became constant. Arman grew distant, consumed by stress and shame. He stopped talking, stopped sharing, stopped being the man Zoya had fallen in love with. And then came the night that changed everything. "I can fix this," Arman had said, pacing the room. "How?" Zoya had asked gently. "By taking another loan? By pushing yourself further into this? You don't understand." "I do understand," she said, her voice breaking. "I understand that you're hurting. But you're shutting me out, Arman. I can't help you if you won't let me in." "I don't need help," he snapped. The words had hung in the air, sharp and unforgiving. Zoya had gone quiet. And then, after a long pause, she had said it. "Maybe, you should leave." He had stared at her, stunned. "What?" "I think you should go," she repeated. Her voice had been calm. Too calm. But her eyes had been full of something else. Pain. Fear. Love. He hadn't noticed it then. Or maybe he had, but his pride had been louder. "Fine," he had said coldly. "If that's what you want." "It is." It wasn't. But he had walked out anyway. Back in the present, the silence between them felt heavier than ever. Why didn't you stop me? Arman asked softly. Zoya let out a bitter laugh. You really don't get it, do you? Then help me understand. Her eyes met his again, and this time, there was no hiding it. I told you to leave because I thought it was the only way to save you. He frowned. What? You were drowning, Arman. And you were pulling me down with you. Not because you wanted to, but because you were lost. And no matter how hard I tried, you wouldn't let me help you. Her voice trembled now. I thought, maybe if I stepped away, you'd find your way back to yourself. And if I didn't? Her lips quivered. Then at least you wouldn't have to watch me break while you were trying to survive. The truth hit him like a wave. All those years, all that anger, all that pain, built on a misunderstanding. You pushed me away, because you loved me, he whispered. She nodded, tears finally slipping down her cheeks. I never stopped. Arman felt his chest tighten. Then why didn't you ever come back? Because you didn't come back for me either. That silence again. Heavy. Honest. Real. I changed, Arman said after a moment. Not right away. I struggled. I failed again. But eventually. I rebuilt everything. Not just the business, myself. Zoya listened quietly. I learned that asking for help isn't weakness. That shutting people out doesn't protect them, it only pushes them away. He took a step closer. I came back because I finally understood what I lost. Her breath caught. But I won't ask you for anything, he continued. Not forgiveness, not another chance. I just needed you to know that I see it now. I see you. Tears streamed down her face, but there was a faint smile beneath them. You're late, she whispered. I know. Another step. But sometimes, late is still better than never. The rain had softened outside. Inside, something else had softened too. Zoya wiped her tears, taking a shaky breath. Do you know how many times I imagined this moment? Me too. I thought if you ever came back, I'd be stronger. That I wouldn't feel this much. And now? She looked at him, really looked at him, like she was searching for the man she had loved, and the man standing before her now. And maybe, they were finally the same. Now I realize, she said softly, that love doesn't just disappear. It waits. It changes. It hurts. But it stays. Arman's voice was barely above a whisper. So, what do we do? Zoya hesitated. Then she smiled through her tears. We start with honesty this time. He nodded. No more walking away without understanding. Never again. And just like that, the door that had once closed between them opened again. Not to the same story they had before, but to a better one. Because sometimes, the words people say don't tell the whole truth. Sometimes, it's in the silence, in the hesitation, in the eyes. And if you're brave enough to look closely, you'll realize. Love doesn't always leave. Sometimes, it just waits for you to come back and truly see it.